Daf Tzadi Tes Amud Beis, right at the beginning of the Amud, new Perek Asiri, Arvi Pesachim. Like the Mishnah, Erev Pesachim Samach LaMincha, the Girsha that we have in the Mishnah is Erev Pesachim, that's Rashi's Girsha as well. Rashbam's Girsha is Arvi Pesachim. On Erev Pesach, close to the time of Mincha, as we'll see in the Gemara, what we're talking about here is Mincha Ketana. If you divide up the day into 12 equal parts, so after 3.5 hours after Chatzos, 9.5 hours into the day, of it, the hours we're talking about Shos Maniyos, then at that point in time, when we come to that Samach LeMincha, close to the time of Mincha, Lo Yochel Adam Ad Shetechshach. From then on, he should not eat until it gets dark. And the Indian is that he should be eating the matzah l'teoven. He should eat the matzah l'teoven with appetite, with enthusiasm. The mitzvah should be done in a mehudadik way. So therefore, we want to ensure that he eats the matzah with a teoven, with an appetite. Therefore, he should not eat until it gets dark. Until it gets dark. Dark in this context means over here it says so kochavim, because the matzah has to be eaten only after it says. So therefore he should not eat. Rishonim are bothered. What does it mean that he should not eat? If we're talking about chametz is also from the 5th hour. If we're talking about matzah, well, the whole day is also to eat matzah. We have different minhagim about not eating matzah 2 weeks prior, 30 days prior, but the Yerushalmi brings down that the day of Erev Pesach, the entire day, it's also to eat matzah. Somebody who eats matzah on Erev Pesach, the Yerushalmi compares it to someone who is boiled arusa. He's boiled arusa before the chuppah, meaning the mitzvah is coming up, it's about to come up, and now he's eating the matzah, he's chopping it and eating it before the time of the mitzvah. He's not holding back, he's not withholding himself. It should be it should be postponed. It's the proper time, and he should restrain himself until the proper time when the time of the mitzvah comes. So what are we talking about over here when we say he shouldn't eat? If we're talking about eating fruits and vegetables and basar, v'dagim, so that's mutter to eat at that time. Taisha says what we're talking about over here is that matzah ashira. Matzah ashira, that it's made with juice or with flour and eggs, but not with water. So it's matzah ashira, and there's no isur of eating that on Erev Pesach per se, but at the time of Mincha, and when it comes the time of Mincha, so close to the time of Mincha, is that Samach LeMincha until the night you shouldn't eat that either. The Rambam Parashat Mishnayos says what we're talking about is even fruit and vegetables, because he says even though that's mutter in smaller quantities, not larger quantities, and therefore the isur over here is larger quantities. So therefore that's the basic isur that you shouldn't eat it until dark. Now talking about eating on Pesach night, there's a mitzvah to eat matzah, there's a mitzvah of dalat kaisos, and these mitzvahs, the eating and the drinking, have to be done with haseba. They have to be with haseba, you have to recline. And even on Oni Yisrael, someone who is poor, he also has to be mesiv, he has to recline. The way the Rashbam explains it is, even though it's not his derech, he's an Ani entering the year, he doesn't recline, but Seder night, he has to recline on Seder night, because he has to demonstrate, everybody has to demonstrate cheres. Now, even though that's not the normal way he eats, but he has to especially demonstrate cheres. Tesis explains it differently. He says that even though he's an Onj B'Yisrael, he doesn't have couches, he doesn't have pillows, etc. And reclining would involve him reclining on a hard bench. Nevertheless, he has to be mesiv. And if he's a poor person, he gets from the tamchui, he gets from the charity, they can't give him less than 4 cups of wine. And this is so even if he is supported from the tamchui, from the platter of tzedakah. They had a platter and they used to distribute food to the aniyim, even if he's such a poor person that he gets from the tamchui, Nevertheless, he has to have Dal Kaisa Shal Yain. According to the Rashbam, this means that if a person is so poor that he doesn't have enough for 2 meals, and he's so poor that he has to take from the tampo, he doesn't even have enough for 2 meals, which means he's eligible to collect from the food platter, from the charity. Nevertheless, he still has a chiyuv of Dalit Kaisis. And if the Gaboy Tzedakah don't give him the Dalit Kaisis, the wine for the Dalit Kaisis, he's mechuyev on his own to try to find the money or find the wine to be Yotze the mitzvah. According to Taisus, he explains it a little differently. He says that if it's a person who is not such an oni, he does not take from the tampoi, he has 2 meals, but the necessity to go and now find wine for Dalit Kaisis, that will use up his resources, and now therefore he won't have 2 sudos. And if it forces him into the tampoi, meaning he's a person who did not have to rely on the tampoi, but the obligation of Dalit Kaisis, that would push him into collecting from the tampoi. Nevertheless, he's mechuyev to mekayim the mitzvah of Dalit Kaisis, even though it now means that he's going to be forced to take tzedakah and to collect from the tampoi. So the Gemara, my area Arvi Pesachim. So the Mishnah said that on Erev Pesach you can't eat samach lemincha yochal ad shetachshel. So the Gemara, my area Arvi Pesachim, afil Arvi Shabbos Yom Tov Nami. There's also this Isser on Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov. We also can't eat before Shabbos and Yom Tov, so that we should have Kiddush and have the suit of Shabbos, those mitzvahs, and do l'tei oven. The sign we learned in the Brayso, Lo yochel adam b'arvi Shabbos v'yom tov min ha-mincha l'mala. A person should not eat from mincha l'mala on Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov kedei sheyikanes l'Shabbos k'shu tov, so that he should come into Shabbos with an appetite, and he should be yotze the mitzvahs and eat and drink with an appetite for coming to Shabbos. Live Rabbi Yehuda, that's what Rabbi Yehuda says. Rabbi Yossi argues and he says no, that there's no such issue. He can eat and drink until nighttime, until it's dark. So Amar Rav Huna answers, Lo tzricha el Rabbi Yossi the Omar he says our Mishnah, what we're saying is according to Rabbi Yossi. Meaning the reason why the Tana over here specifies and emphasizes Arvi Pesachim is because it's Dafka Arvi Pesachim. Because on Erev Shabbos there's no such Isser. Because he's going to Rav Yossi who says on Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov there's no such Isser. So it's Dafka on Arvi Pesachim. So we're going according to Rav Yossi. So Hani Mile B'Arvi Shabbos Yom Tov. Where does Rav Yossi that he holds that it's Mutter? That's Erev Shabbos or Yom Tov. That's an other Yom Tov. Erev Pesach mishum chiyuv the matzah maida, but Rav Yossi would be maida on Erev Pesach because of the chiyuv of matzah. So what's the chiluk? Because matzah, the chiyuv of matzah is a deraisa. That's an achila, which is a deraisa, and therefore we say that even according to Rav Yossi, he says that it should be done l'tei oven. You don't eat mincha min mincha mal. Erev Shabbos Yom Tov, the eating of the sudas of the Rabbanim. Kiddush is a deraisa, but Kiddush ala koyis is a derabana. So therefore, there's no such isser on Shabbos, Erev Shabbos, and Yom Tov. So that's the way Rav Huna explains it. Rav Papa Amar, he says, Afilu tema Rabbi Yehuda. He says it could be going even according to Rabbi Yehuda. How is that? Even though Rabbi Yehuda says that every Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov it's also, but that's min ha-mincha ulamala. But samach la-mincha shori. But the period of time before that, the period of time before mincha, meaning a half hour before mincha, would be mutter. But on Erev Pesach, even samach la-mincha is also also. Even starting from a half an hour before, meaning from the 9th hour and on, it's also asr. So that's the chilik. So that's why our Tana says Erev Pesachim or Arvi Pesachim, Samuch L'mincha, it's also. So it says that here the special is singled out because it's Samuch L'mincha. Frag the Gemara of Erev Shabbos Samuch L'mincha Shari. You mean to say that he holds on Erev Shabbos Samuch Samach Minchas Mutter. I Vatani will into the Brisa La Yachal Adam Be'erev Shabbos V'Yom Tov Mitisha Shoyis Ulamala. It says that you should eat Tisha Shoyis. It doesn't say 9.5. Mincha time is from 9.5 hours. Mincha Ketana is 9.5 hours. But it says in the Brisa that he shouldn't eat from 9 hours. So that's Samach Mincha. So he shouldn't eat from 9 hours. Kadeshi Konos L'Shabbos Kshu Taiva Div Rav Yehuda and Rav Yesi Eimer. Rav Yossi says that it's muter bal kolpanim. You see, even by Rav Shabbos Yontiv, Rav Yehuda says somach lemincha. Omar Marzu, she says man lema adam etaratzti. Fine, this is the way it says, but who says that this is authentic? Maybe Dilma mishabeshti. Maybe it's a corrupted version. It's not meduyik, and it really should be on Shabbos Yontiv from 9.5 hours, not 9. Maybe it's not meduyik, and therefore it's not really accurate, and maybe we do have this chilek. No. He says, I know, I went to his shir, and the Tana stood and taught the Bryce of a Kiblamine, and he's a Mekabel. And he's a Mekabel that it is accurate. So therefore, Rabbi Yehuda holds, even Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov, it's also Somach. So therefore, it would seem to be a kasha, because if he holds that Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov, that it's also 9 hours, why does the Tana over here say Erev Pesach? Al Mechavata Keravuna. You must say Mechavata Keravuna. That our Mishnah is going according to Rabbi Yossi. So it's Dafke Erev Pesach. But Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov would be muter, and therefore the Tana specifies Erev Pesach, meaning like Rav Yossi, even though Erev Shabbos and Yom Tov is a muter, but Erev Pesach would be also because of the chiyuv of eating matzah. And more, we'll continue with the discussion on this next Amud.